Hey there guys, Pinobi here, bringing you another One Piece manga chapter review. It's been a while since I've done one and you guys have asked for it, so here it is. This is going to be on chapter 629, and Extra Shibukai stands in the way. The Extra Shibukai, of course referring to Jinbei. Before we get into it, just want to say, I did mean to do one last week, but I had an eye infection, so I didn't get to do that. And there is a massive amount of brightness coming in from my window that is like illuminating my face that I can't really do much about, so I'm just going to have to be a brightened reviewer in this video, but hopefully you guys will still find the entertainment value. I personally really loved this chapter. I thought it was really nice. And let's go into it. So like I said, 629, you can see on the cover Nojiko wearing this apron that indicates that she has, I assume she is the initiator, started a company, an orange selling company, because Belmare grew oranges and stuff. So that all makes sense. And you can see the boy there, which I assume is the same boy from Arlong Park, who, from Kogayashi Village, rather, who, talked about courage and stuff and had that moment with Nojiko all that long time ago. If you don't remember that, you can go back and read/watch it. And then you see the doctor and stuff in the background and all that. And you can see Gensan freaking out about Nami, which makes me think that there's a picture of Nami in there, so perhaps new bounties for the entire Straw Hat crew. That would be so awesome. But I guess we're going to find out. So let's go ahead and get into it. Page 1, or page 3, depending on what you're looking at. Oh, by the way, if you haven't got a chance to read it for yourself, as always, I should have already mentioned this, I'll leave a link in the description so that you can follow along or just read it for yourself in general and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so Nami's there. She's trying to break up the fight, basically, with Shirahoshi in the background and Sanji standing by. And is it just me, or does Shirahoshi and Nami have very similar character designs? I mean, obviously Shirahoshi's a mermaid, and she's like a giant, practically. Not, like, by race, but in general. So it's kind of weird, but I don't know. They have very similar facial structures. Anywho, I kind of thought this whole encounter with Jinbei and Luffy was a little bit far-fetched in the sense that, like, does Jinbei really need to fight them? I kind of thought no. I kind of felt he could just accompany them to Ryuga Palace, but I understand his logic. He's basically saying that he doesn't want a human to defeat Hody, because, or Hody, or however you want to pronounce it, because it'll just keep up the chain of discrimination. It'll keep up the chain of discrimination going on in Fishman Island. So that's kind of what's going on there. And Luffy's trying to get Megalo to let him ride, but that's not going to go down. So, of course, Jinbei is initiating a fight to basically keep Luffy from going to defeat Hody, which will hopefully make it so that he himself can defeat Hody, which will stop any sort of chain of racism. So, he has very strong motivations, and after the flashback, we can definitely see those emotional ties and all that stuff. And what I really loved about this chapter is it showcased some of the talents that the Straw Hats have gained, and also I feel like the artwork has improved a notch. Let me know what you guys think. I personally think the artwork is really amazing in this chapter. I think that it has definitely gotten a bit of a, I don't know, it just feels like it's gotten a bit of a buff, or maybe it's just because I haven't seen much action artwork, so that's maybe the reason why I feel that way. Also, another thing, before I move too far away from the fact that I thought the fight was slightly far-fetched and unnecessary, where the heck is Vanderdecken? That's what I was wondering all throughout the flashback. I'm like, is this flashback not, like I'm just kind of wondering, how fast is Jinbei, telling this story to them that Vanderdecken has not managed to catch up with them yet? Because to my understanding, he's like, he threw something and jumped on top of it after Shirahoshi again, even after Luffy kicked them or whatever. I think that's how it went down. Even if not, I would have expected him to escape and follow in pursuit by now. And I definitely don't think that they were so far ahead of Vanderdecken that Jinbei had time to tell this whole story and have this fight. So that's just kind of my 2 cents there. But regardless, like I said, the action looks really good. They exchange hits. Jinbei gives us a little bit of insight as to how Fishman Karate works, how it revolves around water and stuff, which is actually really cool. That Oda made a little bit more sense out of that. I thought that was really nice. And Jinbei obviously saying, oh, this is the result of your training, perhaps referring to hockey, or just his strength in general. You see that Robin jumps into the fray to kind of break it up when they were already in like full charge. And of course, Sanji, being the gentleman that he is, tries to jump in to save her, but they all manage to just collide in this very funny and very well drawn, picture of things. And basically, the whole purpose of that little scene to me was to show, or partially to showcase, Robin's new ability, as well as add a little bit of comedic factor with Sanji. And yeah, Robin obviously has the ability to make reproductions of her body parts, and I guess she's evolved that to be able to pretty much clone herself. And I thought this was interesting because we've never seen her clone like an item before. Like she's obviously cloned all her clothes and things. Although Oda has said in SBSs and stuff that clothes are kind of negligible when relating to Devil Fruit abilities. This came up with Buggy, because people are like, oh well, if Buggy can chop himself, how do his clothes stay like that? And Oda said that the clothes are like affected with the human, with the Devil Fruit. Like, it's basically just to make it a lot easier. So, like I said, they all hit each other and all that kind of stuff, and everyone's trying to break it up, which is of course making sense. And before they really get a chance to fully do that, it kind of segues into a different part of the chapter. You see Nami talking about Hachi and his motivations for keeping silent, and how they have a reason to fight, which is of course relevant. And for some reason, Jinbei's being very stubborn about not letting them go save their crewmates. It's really whatever. I think the fact that Jinbei says leave it to me, but then he's not going anywhere, is like, it's really weird to me. I don't know. I feel like if he says leave it to me, he should get his ass on the move and go fucking do something. But whatever. Then of course Hody, being the usual bad villain, saying, who shall we leave at Ryuga Palace? And he's like, nobody. We're not going to leave anybody here. There's no way they could get in. And the humans are all going to drown because they're humans. Which, why? I mean, obviously, in order for the good guys to escape these situations, the bad guy has to have some sort of vulnerability, but in a lot of cases that vulnerability happens to be their own stupidity, because Hody easily could have just said screw these guys and drowned them if he had really wanted to, and that's what he should have done. But, whatever. And he's talking about how, obviously the people in support of humans are going to die, and the people from the ruffian area of Fishman Island are going to come in and take their homes and such. And we get to see that Daruma is a little bit, he's not just a little pet-looking fish man. He actually has a little bit of bite behind his bark, literally, and all that kind of stuff. The whole scene with him isn't particularly, it doesn't really mean that much. The civilians commenting that the princes are pretty much their only hope, which I'm actually pretty interested to see exactly how the princes fight and everything. That should be pretty interesting to watch, so definitely going to be on the lookout for that. And now is where we get to see a showcase of Brook's new ability, which I also found particularly interesting, which is where he has the ability to separate himself from his body, which is really amazing, and, basically be a soul. I think if his soul were conveyed this way in the flashback, in the anime/manga, it would have looked a lot cooler. But, anyway, I don't know. I just think it's really cool. It's a really awesome ability. It has a lot of utility. I think that a lot of people were mostly expecting musical power-ups from Brook. I certainly was. So to receive this sort of advancement to his Devil Fruit, which I guess I should have thought to be natural, was really awesome. And, he's trying to get Papag. He's trying to recruit Papag's help for finding either a key or a sword, which will enable Zoro to cut them out or just simply unlock them. So that's pretty much the chapter in a quick sort of run-by synopsis if you were following along. Overall, what do I expect from this chapter, or what do I expect from future chapters? We're definitely going to see the princes do something. I'm really looking forward to see the fight with the sword fishman, the fishman swordsman rather, who is a mercenary of sorts. I think that that'll be really awesome. And overall, I was just really pleased with this chapter. The artwork, the new abilities, shit was going fucking bananas. It was a really awesome chapter. I hope that you guys particularly enjoyed it as well. Like this video if you enjoyed my review in any sense of the word. And of course, like I said, link below if you for some reason listen to the review without looking at the chapter. I don't know, and all that kind of stuff. Feel free to check out my channel, all that kind of fun shenaniganry, and peace.